Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Another episode of that Victory Talk podcast. Show you how to build your money, muscle, and mindset. It's going down. We got a lot we're going to cover today. We're going to tell you how to get some money. We're going to tell you how to get in shape for the summertime. And we're going to show you how to fix your goddamn mind so you stop acting and looking crazy. Let's get into the show. Yo, what up, what up? It's your boy, Big Brandon Carter, and this is the Victory Talk Podcast, episode 197. Goddamn, 197. All right, I am your host, Big Brandon Carter, BBC, King Keto, the king of ketosis, Gymnasium Jesus, the most humble internet J-list celebrity ever. Right, the most humble. I should get an award for my humility. I'm like a god of modesty, but I'm not alone. The modest God is not alone. He is also joined by the best co-host in the game, straight out of Iran.
Straight.
You know what I'm saying? The continent of Asia, Sand Asia. What up, man? Nima, what up?
All good, man. Just thinking in 3 episodes, we are going to be on the 200th episode. Wow.
Damn, 200.
200. That's
Come on, man. They said, yo, man, they said we couldn't do it. they said it wouldn't work. They said this wouldn't last. But we out here. But you know, it's not just me. It's not just me and my Middle Eastern friend. It's also, we also joined by Minovia, you know what I'm saying? My girl, she's monitoring the chat, kicking out all the haters, coming here talking crazy, you getting kicked the fuck out. All right. She's also gonna be reading your super chats. All right. She's gonna be addressing them, and then I'm gonna answer them. All right. Because I don't like to read in public. All right. And all right, we got a lot we're gonna cover today. But first, we got to get into our sponsor. All right, this episode of Victory Talk is sponsored by Thought Repellent. Thought Repellent is the easy-to-apply spray to keep the hoes away. You see, here's the thing. A lot of you motherfuckers, y'all searching how to riz up girls. I think that's what the young kids are saying, riz. Is that what they're saying? They call it riz.
Yeah.
Yeah. How to riz girls, how to fucking cold approach. Oh, how do I optimize my online dating profile? The real G's. And here's the thing, once you get your money, muscle, and mindset right, your problem won't be how do I riz up girls, right? It'll be like, yo, how do I keep all these girls away from me? Man, it's too many. No más chicas, por favor. No más culo para mí. Por favor, no más. Right? That's what that's the kind of problems the fucking real G's are dealing with. What do you do with all these bitches? Right? That's why we developed Thought Repellent. Right? You know what I'm saying? This is for the man who's got too many bitches. Too many bitches. And that should be you, the victinators, man. Once you get your money, muscle, and mindset right, you should have too many bitches. I haven't, Nima, I haven't left the apartment all day.
Really?
Yeah. There's bitches out there,
Makes
man.
sense.
What they gonna do when they see me walking down the street? Looking like this.
You're right.
With all this money.
Especially in Miami.
Yeah, in Miami. What are we gonna do? I'm gonna get fucking called. I might cause a riot. The mayor asked me to stay inside as much as possible.
Especially during spring break.
Spring break. The mayor said, listen, Brandon, we need you to be quarantined. Bitches gonna go crazy. And that's not me. That's all. Everybody's got their money, muscle, mindset right. That's why we developed thought repellent. This way you can go outside. I might have to go outside at some point. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go to my parent teacher conferences. I got all types of shit to do. Yeah, I gotta go to the Heat game. My nephew's about to graduate. I don't want to cause a stampede at a fucking elementary school graduation. So I got thought repellent right now. And this is actually going to come out. Right? This is a real product. Y'all think we bullshit. They think we bullshit. It was supposed to be out in the top of the year, around spring. We wanted to have it out for spring break. We didn't get it out in time. That's how Sharp got caught up. If he would have some thought repellent, he wouldn't be in this predicament. He still have his job at ESPN, right? But instead, man, we know that he a freaky old man. You know what I'm saying? He a freaky old man. We wouldn't have known nothing about that. We'd all still thought he was kind of gay. Now you know. Now he like to play in the snow. Brother like to play in the snow, man. We wouldn't have known that about Shannon. You know what I'm saying? We had thought repellent now. This is your fault. I blame y'all, right? So because this is going to be all funded by y'all, right? The Victinators, we are funding thought repellent, right? And it's all your super chats, right? All your super chats go into actually putting the product out on the market, right? And if we get enough super chats, we'll have this out by summer, which is really the thought breeding season. That's when they go out and multiply. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you're going to need it. You need to be safe, man, because they'll ruin your whole life if you let them. If you let them, you got to stay safe, man. You don't want to end up like Shannon Sharp. Bitches suing you. Flat-chested bitches suing you. Flat-chested white women suing you. That should look like a young man, homie. All right, anyway. Maybe that's like a gay loophole. You get it. Like if you gay and you don't want to be gay, you just get a chick who look like a man. That's actually genius. Because I used to always think, man, listen, if R. Kelly if he likes these kind of, why not just get an adult chick who look like it? Who look like a little girl? Why didn't you just do that, Robert? Why I got to come up with all the good ideas? I done cured pedophilia and homophobia, and we only like 5 minutes, and
at the same time,
and we only like 5 minutes into it. You know what I'm saying? Imagine what the rest of this show's episode gonna be about. All right, all your super chats go towards research and go towards development. Thought repellent. We're gonna have this out by summer if we get into super chats. And as luck will have it, 2 heroes have already contributed to the fund. What's up?
We have Rashad Pearson. Yo, Brandon.
What up?
I appreciate the game you provide, homie. With that said, I'm going to need to hear that thought repellent song for the cause, $100.
All right. Listen, he gave $100, so we gotta play the thought repellent song because they didn't think it was real until we had a song about it. Yeah. All right, just a thought repellent theme song, and because I love money, and he gave me $100, we gotta play the song. I think it's worth it. So this is a song that I wrote and produced. I had to go back to Chicago and get the choir from my old church to put this together. Because we doing God don't like thoughts. You know what I'm saying? So here's the thought repellent anthem. All right.
Bitches be tripping. Hoes never act right.
Never act right.
Gotta stop the thoughts fucking up your life. There are some good women.
There's some.
Some of them are not.
Some of them are not.
That's why you need repellent.
Nima, where's my Grammy?
To keep away the thoughts.
Keep away the thoughts.
You need that repellent. Keep away the thoughts. To keep away the thoughts. To keep away the thoughts.
Come on, man.
You need that.
We gotta put this on ice.
To keep away the thoughts. To keep away the thoughts. To keep away the thoughts.
Yeah.
To keep
Reintroduced by Ketosis.
They take you off your grind.
Don't they?
Spend all of your cash.
Spend all your cash.
Take up all your time. All you get is ass.
So
Just a spray will keep thoughts away. Spray it on your face. Spray it on your crotch. Cause you need that repellent to keep away the thoughts. You need that repellent.
This is really coming out.
Keep away the
This is product really coming out.
To keep away the thoughts. You need that repellent. To keep away the thoughts. To keep away the keep away the hoes. They got OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Keep away the hoes with 8 baby dads.
Yeah.
Bitches with purple hair, but no money in the bank. Bitches who try to fuck, even though that pussy stank. You need
They try to fuck even though the pussy stank.
keep away the thoughts.
Every guy got a stank
stank
pussy story.
To keep away the thoughts.
And they all end the same way. With him fucking in. You can't drop the ball at the 1 yard line.
To keep away the thoughts. To keep away the hoes. They got OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Keep away the hoes. With 8 baby dads. You need that repellent.
You know what I'm saying? All right. So, you're welcome. You're welcome, Rashad. Oh, there's another hero.
We have a few. We have Leo with Thought Repellent.
What up, Leo?
And then we have Max with Nothing to Say.
Nothing to say for Max. Hold on, man. All right. I'm almost, you know what, something I had hold on. I have the thing. So I want to talk about, I want to show you how to get ripped for this summer, like really rip really fast. Okay, cool. And I want to talk about the fastest way to get ripped for this summer. All right. I know a lot of y'all is fucking fat right now, and you want to stop being fat for summertime or any other time. That's what we're going to show. That's what we're about to talk about in a segment we like to call Real. No. This should be Habits of a Winner. All right, let's get it. Summer's almost here. And some of you guys may be thinking, hey, it's too late for me to get in shape. Bullshit. I'm going to show you how you can get in shape. This is the fastest way to get ripped for summer. But warning, this will not work if you a punk or a bitch. This is going to be the most difficult fat loss protocol you've ever went through. And most of y'all ain't tough enough to do it. You're going to talk shit in the comments. Oh, this is too much for me. This is too much, blah, 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 blah. I can't do this for whatever reason. I'm a bitch. If you see somebody in those comments, if you see somebody in the comments talking that stupid shit, I want you to shame them mercilessly. Really like troll them and bully them because they need to toughen up. This is not what I'm going to give you. This I'm going to show you how you can get ripped within like 2 weeks, but it's going to be very difficult. All right. This is not a sustainable approach. I want to be clear about that because I don't believe in sustainable fat loss. I think that's stupid. These fucking fitness influencers and fitness guys say, man, you need to do something sustainable. Yeah, shut your bitch ass up. Because to lose fat, you have to be in a caloric deficit. which is a mild form of starvation, why the fuck would you want to sustain starvation? How about you stop being a pussy and you get ripped as fast as possible and then sustain your ideal weight? Why would you want the diet to be why would you want the diet to take longer than it needs to? Fuck that shit. This is going to be an aggressive cut. And the protocol I came up with is what I came up with this protocol back when I was a fitness model, right? Back when I was young and beautiful in my 20s. I'm old now, I'm 42. But in my 20s, there was a time where I was a fitness model. I modeled for Nike, Puma, Brand Jordan, Adidas, and a bunch of other shit. And sometimes the agency would hit me and say, yo, man, you got this shoot. It's like 2 weeks from now. You booked the shoot. And I'm like, fuck. I'm not in fitness model shape right now, you know, because I used to drink and party and act crazy back then, right? So I was like, oh shit, I gotta fucking get in shape in 2 weeks. And through trial and error, I came up with this protocol. I've also ran hundreds of people through this protocol as well. Matter of fact, I want to show you an example. Last person I ran through this was hold on, I meant to pull this up, was White Boy Brian. All right, and hold on. Let me find it. When I ran Brian through this protocol. Okay, here it is. This is Brian. Look how fucking fat he was, right? He was fucking fat. 2 weeks later, he looked like this. All right. And we actually have his, we had him do DEXA scan before and the DEXA scan after. All right. And you can see, hold on. Right. So he lost, what is that? How many?
Can you scroll a little bit lower?
A little bit lower. Oh, yeah. Nima, you Asian. How much fat? This is how much fat he started with. This is how much fat he ended with. You want the percentage? No, I just want, yeah. He lost like 3% body fat, right? But the pounds of fat. Do that quick math, Nima.
It's 5 and 7, around 7.6.
Yeah, man. My man lost 7 pounds. Well, he's lost 6.3 pounds in 2 weeks of fat. Why is lean body mass? Why he did not lose muscle at all? Right. And that's because he did the protocol I'm about to share with you. And I've ran tons of people through this. All right. Now, fuck. Make that make sense when you do the edit. All right. Now, to be clear, this is going to be the most difficult protocol you have ever went through. All right. This is not for the faint of heart. Right. You can do this to get in shape for summer. You can do this to get in shape if you have a vacation you want to go on in 2 weeks, or if you got a photo shoot like I used to have to do. I used to have to do photo shoots and I need to be super ripped in 2 weeks. Or if you just want to, or if 2 weeks from now, you just want to flex on the haters and stun on the host. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know who else did this? Hold on. My boy, one of my students, Corey Armstrong, went through this protocol as well. Let me see if I can find his before and after. Fuck. Because I have it. He was fucking fat. And then he did this shit. I gotta find it, man. Because y'all know Corey, he's gotten pretty popular on the internet. And he's one of my, you can show it if you want. I just gotta find his before and after. It might take a second. I should have had this prepared, but I just thought of it right now. Where is that picture of fat ass Corey? Because he did the Terminate too. Because Corey's one of my students who I teach how to grow online fitness business, and he was saying, man, he wasn't making as much money as I wanted. And I was like, that's because you kind of fat. You need to get a little in better shape. And I put him through this protocol. And then after that, he got super ripped and he started making way more money as a fitness trainer. Right. So, fuck, I don't know if I can find it. This might take too long, Nima. You're going to have to, this is not exactly the 2-week transformation. This is back when he was super fat. I'll ask Corey for it and we'll do it in post, right? All right. Just remind me to get that. So here's the protocol. It consists of a ton of cardio, which you might have imagined, and the worst diet you'll ever go through. I mean, when I say worst, the most difficult, and it's not tasty, it's not fun or exciting. This ain't no bullshit. This ain't like some 12-week love yourself diet. You know, this ain't some shit that you're gonna enjoy. You're gonna hate every moment of this shit. Right? If you want some diet plan or workout plan that you will enjoy, then go find some like skinny white girl on Instagram, buy her protocol. You and your mom can go through that together. You know what I'm saying? You want a little baby shit. This is going to be fucking hardcore. All right. So what we're going to do is how we're going to start. The first part of this is diet. All right. And here's how the diet works. You're going to get, sorry, man, I just need you on. I'm going to need you, man. All right. First part of this is diet. Again, it's going to be difficult. So what you're going to do is you're going to have to track your fucking diet, asshole. Right? You're going to have to track your fucking calories and macros. Right? But we're not necessarily worried about the calories as much. The calories are going to be super low. I want you to focus on protein because we want to retain as much muscle as possible during this time. What you're going to do is you're going to do you're going to get 1.2 grams of protein per pound of lean body mass. How do you know how much lean body mass you have? Right? Well, here's what we're going to do. You're going to go to ChatGPT. You're going to go to ChatGPT. Let me find it. Didn't I just have it up? This one? Oh, yeah. You're going to go to ChatGPT. Yeah. And you're going to upload a photograph of yourself. That's me. Right? And you're going to say the ChatGPT, estimate my current body fat percentage, right? It's going to give you a good range. Now, it's better if you go get a DEXA scan or if you know how to use the calibers, you can do that. Or if you have an in-body machine, a little inaccurate, but it's close enough. But this is fine, right? Upload a picture of yourself with your shirt off and ask ChatGPT to estimate your current body fat percentage. All right. It's cool. All right. Now it's just the prompt, estimate my current body fat percentage. You put that in there, blah, blah, blah. It estimate between 6 and 8% range, which judging from this picture, yeah, probably, you look at the side abs, the obliques. Damn, I'm fine as hell. All right. All right. Then you're going to tell them, hey, you're going to have ChatGPT do the fucking math for you. I weigh 200 pounds. Knowing my body fat percentage, how much lean mass would you estimate I'm holding? All right. Then boom. If you're 200 pounds, but 6% body, 6 to 8% body fat, lean body, breaks all the formula down, whatever. Just give me the number ho. All right. And it's going to estimate it's 184. It's between 184 and 188 pounds of lean body mass. Right. Cool. And just say, I use it as a calculator. Yeah. What is it? Boom, boom, boom. What is what? I split the difference. I split the difference in the middle because it estimates. So I said, what's 186 times 1.2? Boom. All right. So this is how much protein I need per day. All right. Let me show you why this is important. You're going to get exactly that much protein per day. right? But here's the thing. You don't have to put it back on yet. But here's the thing. That's it, right? So you want to get as close to zero fat and as close to zero carbohydrates as possible. This is a diet this is based off something called the protein sparing modified fast. This was a diet protocol that was invented by doctors when they had to do operations on super obese motherfuckers, like big fat whale motherfuckers. And it's like, God damn, we can't cut away all this fucking blubber. You know what I'm saying? To get to the organs, how are we gonna move all this fat meat out the way? So they would put them on the protein sparing modified fast. It was invented by doctors. This is modified a little bit for bodybuilding because we want you to retain more muscle, so it's higher protein than normally, but it's based off that, right? And it really works. The problem is with the traditional protein sparing modified fast, you're going to lose more muscle, but with this protocol, with the protein so high, you're going to retain a lot more. All right. So, but how do you get that much protein while keeping your carbohydrates and your fats as close to zero as possible? Right. Again, this is extreme. Again, like I said before, this shit is not sustainable. Someone thinks, oh, this is going to fuck your shit up. Somebody's thinking of typing that. Just shut the fuck up. You're only going to do this for 2 weeks, dumbass. You can smoke crack for 2 weeks and it won't be harmful to you long term. It's what you do habitually that counts, right? We're going to do this quick. This is going to be 2 weeks, no more. All right. You can and then the problem with smoking cracks for 2 weeks is if you smoke crack for 2 weeks, you're probably going to end up doing it 3 years, maybe 2 decades, right? It's habit forming. This is not. All right. All right. So how do you do that? What do you eat? So here's some of the things you can consume, right? You're going to what you're going to be eating is lean meats. We're talking turkey breasts. I know, gross. Skinless chicken breasts. I know, gross. Egg whites, some fish like tilapia. Most seafood is really good. It's mostly protein. Most seafood, lobster, crab. Just don't dip it in the butter and shit, right? Those are good options. Also, when I do this, I really leaned on whey isolate protein, mixing it with water. Whey isolate, not whey protein, but whey isolate, isopure or some shit, right? Because it has 0 carbs and 0 fats. It's just all protein. It's isolate. It's isolated, right? All right. And okay, so you're going to do that, but you can also have unlimited green leafy vegetables, right? Unlimited green vegetables. So you can eat as much asparagus as you want. You can eat as much broccoli as you want. Cauliflower is acceptable. It's not green, but that's the exception to the color rule, right? Spinach, as much spinach as you want, as much kale as you want. The problem is you can't put salad dressing on this shit. You can't put oil or butter on this shit, right? Because we want to keep our protein. We want to keep our fats as close to zero as possible. Right? But you can eat as much of those green vegetables as you want. But without the fat, it's going to taste gross. That's why this diet is so difficult. It's really, really difficult. Most people can't make it through it. But if you can, you will reap the rewards. All right. You can use condiments. Low calorie condiments like hot sauce has no calories, vinegar, stevia, most artificial sweeteners, with moderation because some of them have some calories in it. Stevia is good. All right. Spicy mustard has no calories. That's good. Right. And fucking salt and shit, right? It has no calories. All right. And as far as liquids are concerned, you can drink as much water as you want. Water ain't got no fat, right? You can drink coffee. You just can't put, sugar in it or cream. All right. Teas, if you British. All right. Diet soda is fine. Pre-workouts are fine. Any sort of pre-workouts, you're going to need a lot of them. And if you want, you can add branched chain amino acids, exogenous ketones, all that stuff. As long as it doesn't have calories, you're good. And that's your diet, right? That alone will put you in a deep, deep, deep caloric deficit. That's the main point. It's a deep caloric deficit, but we're keeping protein as high as possible because we want to retain as much muscle as possible. I hope that makes sense. right? So a deep caloric deficit. So let me review it again. 1.2 grams of protein per 1.2 grams of protein per pound of lean body mass. You're going to use ChatGPT to estimate your body fat percentage. You're going to use ChatGPT you're going to use ChatGPT to estimate your body fat percentage. I think Gemini would do it. You can use Gemini. Maybe you can use Claude if you swing that way. Maybe you can use Gronk if you nasty. Skynet, whatever your preferred LLM is. All right. But it's better if you can get a DEXA scan, but that costs money and it's not difficult for her. Or if you can get a trainer to estimate your body fat percentage, go to the gym, say, hey, asshole, man, give me my body, test my body fat, right? That might be better. All right. But I feel like most ChatGPT would do a decent job. All right. And you're going to do that 6 days. You're going to do, there's going to be a 2-week long protocol. Okay. But you're going to do it. But you're going to have one refeed day in the middle of it. Right. So you're going to do it 6 days. You're going to have a refeed day. Right. Because the reason you want to have a refeed day, because your calories are going to be super low. Right. And if you do that for too long, sometimes it can knock your hormones out of whack. So you want to have one refeed day where you can actually you actually balance your body's hormones. All right. Here's how you're going to do the refeed day. All right. I'm going to make this as simple as possible. Right. You're going to keep the protein exactly the same. Right. But we're going to increase the calories. Right. And we're going to increase the calories with fat. Right. So here's how many calories you need. On your refeed day, you want to take your body weight in pounds. Your body weight in pounds, multiply that by 15. Right. That's how many calories you want on your refeed day. Keep your protein the same and do the rest. And the rest of the calories will come from fat. Right. So this is the day you can eat fatty meats. You can put butter on your shit. You can put sauces on your shit. Right. As long as it doesn't have carbs, you still want to keep our carbs as low as possible on this day, because what's going to happen is you're going to be basically in ketosis. Right. And we want you to remain in ketosis, because what happens when you're in ketosis, your body's using fat for fuel. Right. But the main benefit of ketosis as it pertains to this diet is studies show that when you are in ketosis, the main benefit of, okay, you might be asking, what is ketosis? Right. Ketosis is when your body is using ketones as for fuel. See, on a traditional Western diet, when you are consuming carbohydrates, your body converts those carbohydrates into glucose or glycogen. And that glucose is the fuel your body runs on. In the absence of glucose, your pancreas your liver will secrete something called ketones, where it's converting fat into fuel. And that's the new fuel your body runs on. When you are in ketosis, your hunger levels drop dramatically. And there's tons of studies to prove this. You are just way less hungry, which is going to be beneficial on this diet because your calories are going to be super low from it. Does that make sense? So we want to, even though you're on your refeed day, we want to stay in ketosis. So we want to avoid carbohydrates. That makes sense, right? So you can eat, you're basically going to be doing keto on this day. And then you're going to go right back to the main protein sparing modified fast after this. That makes sense? So we're really just upping the calories with some fat is what we're doing on the refeed day. All right. You're going to do that on day 7. And then you get right back into this shit on day 8. Make sense? All right, cool. Now, that's the diet. It's pretty simple, but it's super difficult. I'm telling you, most of your guys aren't tough enough to do this shit. You can't handle it. You want a tasty treat in your mouth, right? You be craving something in your mouth all the time, like your mama. But if you're tough enough to withstand those cravings, you'll reap the benefits. All right. Now, we've already put ourselves in a deep deficit with the diet. We're going to take it up a notch. Matter of fact, a couple notches with the workout. So week 1, you are going to walk 20,000 steps a day. I know what you're thinking. How the fuck am I going to do that? Shut the fuck up. All right. You're going to you go to the gym in the morning, walk on the treadmill for 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours. You're just going to walk. You don't even have to put on an incline. You can walk. Or if you live in a nice, when I did this shit, I used to walk around New York. I used to walk from 72nd Street all the way down to like One World Trade Center and back. I would do that in the afternoon, and I would walk in the morning. Yeah, and that walk is over 200 blocks, but it was cool to walk in the city. It was a bike path the whole time. So I'm just walking on the bike path next to the river, right? If you got a city like that, or I've done it through Central Park. I've walked I used to just walk around Central Park, man. You know what I'm saying? If you live in New York, you can walk from Dykeman to, if you don't want to walk on the west side, you can walk from Dykeman to the Lower East Side. You know what I'm saying? To the LES. Yeah, walk from First Street in the LES to 200th Street in Dykeman. This is New York geography. I'm just saying, if you live in a walkable city, I don't want to get too New Yorkish on you, right? But if you live in a nice city where you can walk, then walk outside. If you don't, then get on the fucking treadmill and just walk for hours, right? You can walk for hours. I'll get my iPad out, go on some YouTube TV. I'm watching shit. You just walk for hours. But you're going to be tracking your steps. Your iPhone, you can track your steps in your iPhone. All you got to do is open the health app and tell you how many steps you walk per day. It does it automatically, right? If you don't have an iPhone, nerd. Android would do it too. I think I have a Samsung phone. I think my Android would do it, but if not, I'm sure there's apps that'll track your step, right? You can also track your steps with the Apple Watch or the Samsung Watch. Also, if you got the Samsung Watch, throw that away, man. Ain't nobody ever got pussy wearing a Samsung Watch. That's pussy repellent right there. Don't nothing dry up a vagina faster than a Samsung Watch. I'm just playing Samsung, and I'm just playing Samsung. If you're watching it, if you pay me enough, I'll fucking say that shit is dope. If Johnny Samsung is watching this, you pay me enough money, I'll say that shit is dope. I'll shoot a music video with that shit on for the right price. Anyway. Yeah, but Android or Apple do it. I got both. I don't live a life of scarcity. Android, Apple, which is better? I get both, man. It's kind of like when people ask me, what you like, ass or titties? And I'm like, what? My girlfriend got a fat ass and some fat titties. I don't live a life of scarcity. I ain't out here picking and choosing. Get both, player. Anyway, 200, your first week, 20,000 steps a day. It's going to take hours of walking. One thing I used to do when I had this is if I had a treadmill desk, and while I was working, taking meetings, I was on the treadmill. If you don't got that shit, man, what you going to do is you're going to fucking go to the gym early, walk on that fucking treadmill, walk to work, figure it out, motherfucker. I said this was going to be difficult. That's week 1. And you can get your kids involved, get your family involved. You can walk your dog. Look, dogs love being outside. They get so excited, right? So walk your dog, walk with your kids, make it a family thing. You can walk your girlfriend like young Goldie, right? Figure it out, motherfucker. All right. That's week 1. Now, week 2, you're going to step it up, and we're going to walk 40,000 steps a day. I know what you're thinking, and you're right. That is very difficult. 40,000 steps is very difficult, but you will burn a tremendous amount of calories. You'll put yourself in a deep caloric deficit. And everyone's saying you can't do it. We've done it. I did it. Brian did it. I used to sell a fitness course called the Terminator 2-week diet, and this was the protocol. And hundreds of people did it, man. 40,000 steps a day. Some of them were fucking tiny women and shit, right? Tiny women. Yeah. You tougher than you? Is some fucking tiny white woman tougher than you? Maybe. If you over here crying about walking, then probably. You a bitch. I fucking hate you. That's why you fat now. That's how you ended up on this video, fat boy. I digress. I didn't mean to turn up on you like that, fat boy. All right, here we go. Now, that's just the cardio. The reason we're not doing high intensity cardio is the reason we're not doing high intensity cardio is because you'll burn, you can only do it for a certain amount of time, right? If you ran a mile, you only burn like 100 calories on average, right? But damn, but how many miles are you going to run? You know, how many miles are you going to run? But if you can walk for longer than you can run, and in the long term, you will burn more calories throughout the day. Let me show you. How many calories does the average person burn if they walk 40,000 steps?
Walking 40,000 steps can burn a significant number of calories, but the exact amount varies greatly depending on individual factors. Here's a breakdown. Average calorie burn per step. The average person burns approximately 0.04 to 0.06 calories per step. For someone weighing around 160 pounds, this translates to about 40 calories burned per 1,000
I wish this bitch would just get to the point.
calories burned for 40,000 steps. Based on the average, 40,000 steps could burn roughly 1,600 to 2,400 calories. 40,000 steps X, 0.04 or 0.06 calories/step. For a 160-pound person, this would be around 1,600 calories, 40 by 40. Factors that significantly influence calorie burn. Body weight.
Oh man, I wish that bitch would have just got to the point. I wish she would have just got to the point, man. This is why women get paid less. Okay, bitch. I'm gonna skip to the end. In conclusion, the average person will burn between 1,600 and 24,000 steps. I mean, the average person will burn between 16,000 and 24,000 calories if they walk 40,000 steps. All right. That's a lot, because you got to remember, we're already in a deep deficit. And you got to remember, for every pound of fat you want to lose, you have to burn an extra 3,500 calories. This is how motherfuckers burn. Like, motherfuckers have done this and have done this protocol and lost over 10 pounds in 2 weeks. Right? It's not sustainable. Right? Here ain't Nima type. Yeah, AI. Yeah, it's not black. Yeah, Gemini. I got a sister on Gemini. I got a sister on Gemini. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Gemini.
Yeah, my chat GPT is still white. Still white lady on chat GPT. Some of y'all got chat GPT, you said it as a man. That's gay as hell. Nima Siri is a man.
It was.
Yo, that's mad gay. But you know, it would be gay if he was American. I know he's not gay because like they kill him for that shit where he from. That shit ain't even legal where he from. Being gay is illegal over there. I wish he would have got to the point. That's why women get paid less, man. I don't make the rules. Anyway, Myron was right. All right. What are we talking about? Oh yeah. Now that's just the cardio, right? You'll burn way more. There's no way you're going to do high intensity cardio and burn over like thousands of calories. And even if you did, you're going to be worn out. You won't be able to do nothing else that day. But if you do this, man, you'll burn more calories and you could do it every day without getting sore, without harming your joints, right? Walking is good because it's easy on your joints. You won't get crazy sore. And you can do it every day. You're not going to be fucking running miles every day, bro, unless you David Goggins and you've been training for that shit, right? You're just probably not. You will need new sneakers. I needed new sneakers. Last time I did this, I needed new sneakers after week 1. Like there was a hole in my sneakers. And I had to buy another pair of black Air Force Ones for week 2. And then after week 2, those sneakers were dead too. I might have went through 2.5 pairs of sneakers doing this shit. So put that in your budget. Don't do this shit wearing your nice sneakers. Don't do this shit wearing Jordans and shit. Get you some black Air Force Ones. Let's get it in. All right. All right. Now, what about training? Right. So you're gonna this is not the time you're gonna be burning muscle. I mean, this is not the time we're gonna be trying to build muscle. Right. You want to maintain as much muscle as possible. So what you're gonna do is you're going to do 2 or 3 full body workouts per week. All right. And you're going to pick 1, maybe 2, but 1 is enough. But if you feel inclined to pick 2 compound exercises per body part, right? So we're talking about chest, hit the bench press, back, bent over rows, or pull-ups. If you want to do 2 for back, do both of them. Shoulder press, boom. Right? Legs, hit the squats, front squats, back squats, low bar, high bar, I don't give a fuck. Right? Or leg press. Who gives a shit? Right? Because we're not trying to build muscle, we're trying to maintain it. Then you hit the only isolation exercises you're gonna do. You do some curls, tricep extensions, calf raises. That's it, man. And you're gonna do 4 sets of that shit till failure. Rep range, keep the rep range relatively low, right? 6 to 8 reps. Lift heavy, because when you lift heavy, it encourages your body to retain more muscle. So keep the lift heavy, keep the rep range relatively low. Go to failure, right? So if you're gonna keep rep range 6 to 8, make sure you cannot do 9. 9 should be impossible with good form. Like you might be able to do 9 if you cheat or some shit. You're doing bench press, you start doing all this shit. Or you start curling, you're doing all this shit. You do it. Motherfuckers be turning curls into back extensions. Nah, you should not be able to. You should do 8 with perfect form. You should not be able to do 9 with perfect form, right? That's what I mean. All right, do that 2 or 3 times a week. You good, right? Because we're just trying to maintain as much muscle as possible. It's not this is not a muscle building phase. We're getting lean as possible, and that's basically it, man. That's the protocol. If you do that, I promise you will get in amazing shape. Now, here's the weird thing about this shit, and I've talked to a lot of people who I ran this protocol through. It seemed like it was easy. It's something I can't explain it. Something changed in metabolism after this, right? There seemed to be almost like I can't guarantee this will happen to you. All right. I just want to put this out there. But I did this before a summer. Last time I did this, and it seemed easier to stay ripped that summer. And when my boy Brian he said the same thing. It was like almost like he kept losing fat, even though he wasn't trying to. Like he kept getting leaner. And for me, it was just, I started bulking after this, but I stayed super lean. I'm not saying it'll happen for you, but some people have reported that, including myself. Right? I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm giving you this for free. This is a protocol I used to kind of sell. Oh, but now here's the thing. You're going to need some supplements when you're on this diet, and it's critical. All right? Hold on, let me bring this up. Greg, I see you in there, man. Just hold tight for a second. You have to take these supplements, bro. If you don't take these supplements, you're going to fuck your shit up. All right. So the first thing, there are some supplements that are mandatory on this protocol. There's some that are, you just take them if you want. All right. The mandatory supplements, sodium, right? Because our carbohydrates are going to be so low, you have to increase sodium, magnesium, and potassium, right? We have to have our electrolytes way up. See, the main reason people say, man, I was so weak when I did keto, or when I cut carbs, I get weak. It's not the main reason is because you need to up your sodium intake, right? Because what happens is when your carbohydrates are low, you start flushing a lot of water weight. So you're going to lose water weight too on this protocol, right? And that's not insignificant. You will look better with less water weight. This is why bodybuilders dehydrate themselves before they fucking go on stage and shit, right? But you have to increase your sodium, potassium, and magnesium, right? For sodium, you want to make sure you're getting at least 5. You want to get somewhere between 5,000 and 7,000 milligrams of sodium per day. I'm telling you, you have to do this. If you do not do this, you will feel like shit. And every other time you tried to cut carbs in your life, you feel like shit is because you didn't do this, right? You have to really increase your sodium, right? Potassium as well. Potassium, you want to get between 1,000 and 3,500 milligrams of potassium daily. All right. Now the sodium, you might take a potassium supplement, right? If you want, right? Sodium, you can get a lot of it from hot sauce or putting extra salt on your food, fucking drinking. No, I don't want to say that. Right. You can get them little LMNTs that'll help you with all of this, right? Right. Magnesium as well. You have to increase magnesium. You need at least somewhere between, you need between 300 and 500 milligrams of magnesium a day. Right. I'm pretty sure you could just drink multiple LMNTs, that shit Huberman be selling on his podcast. He paid to sell the shit. I'm just telling you, it's an easy way to get your electrolytes. They don't fucking pay me. I'll take the money if you motherfuckers are listening. You giving out money to YouTubers. Why don't you give? You ain't giving none to no black people. Is it racist? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. If you give me if you give me some money, everyone who's saying you racist will have to shut up. Now, I don't know if anybody's been saying they racist until just now, but now they are. It's out there. We can't put that cat back in the bag. You just got to prove that you're not racist by giving me some money. The next supplement you need is fish oil. You want to take fish oils too, right? This will help. The fish oil helps with a lot of things, but just in general, 1 to 2 grams of fish oil per day. And then you want to take any multivitamin. Those are mandatory. Like if you do not do this shit, you will feel like trash. Especially the most important thing is the electrolytes. You got to get the electrolytes. LMNT, or you can get fucking, you know what I'm saying? If they don't want to pay me, then you can get some liquid IV. If they don't want to pay me, then you can get what's some of the other ones? Body Armor's got some new shit. You know what I'm saying? We'll see how much money they got for me. or any electrolyte company that wants to give me some cash. To be determined. All right. Now, here's the non-mandatory supplements. This is where it gets fun. Now, warning. Some of this shit will get you kicked off your NCAA basketball team. You know what I'm saying? If you were a pro athlete, you might want to check the regulations. All right. So first is caffeine. I love caffeine. You want to take to really help this, because you're gonna have lower energy on this diet, not because you're cutting carbs, but just because the calories are gonna be so low, and you're burning so many calories, right? So your energy is gonna be lower. Caffeine will help with that, right? So you want to take 200 to 300 milligrams of caffeine 2 to 3 times a day. That might sound excessive to a lot of y'all. I do that shit just cause I enjoy it, right? I do that shit recreationally, right? But on this protocol, it's going to really help you, right? And caffeine is proven to help you burn fat. It helps you burn fat because it actually gives you more energy to move more, right? So you'll burn more fat, right? But another thing caffeine will do is help with your hunger, because you're going to be hungry on this diet, right? You're going to be hungry. Just fucking deal with it. I want you to reframe the hunger as this is what it feels like when fat leaves my body, right? But the caffeine will help with the hunger, right? And it will improve your mood, right? If you take enough of it, it might improve your mood too much. You get that cocaine energy, like me. I took 300 milligrams of caffeine before I started filming this. And that's why this video is so great. Yeah, that's why you watched it so much, man, because I'm entertaining. All right. When I'm on the drug of caffeine. The next supplement you want to take is something called Ephedra. All right. Now, Ephedra, when I was a kid, back in my day, in the 90s, when I started working out, every fat burning supplement had Ephedra in it, right? Because it's a potent fat burner. Like it's one of the few supplements that's actually proven to burn fat. See, fat burning is a 2-part process. It's lipolysis and oxidation, right? So lipolysis is when your fat cells break down into fatty acids. Oxidation is when your body uses those fatty acids for energy, right? And there's tons of studies prove that Ephedra speeds up the rate of lipolysis, meaning speeds up the rate that your fat cells are broken down into fatty acids. And then with all the cardio you'll be doing, you'll be using those fat cells for energy, right? Anyway, Ephedra is proven to help increase fat loss, but it's a potent hunger. It's a potent hunger suppressant. I mean, it's a really potent hunger suppressant. If you take enough Ephedra, you'll forget to eat. Like the hunger won't be a problem, and it gives you tons of energy, right? In fact, so much energy that I think is banned by some sports leagues. All right, I know like I said, they used to put it in every bodybuilding supplement, but some people died or some shit. I don't know. Something happened to somebody, and they made it illegal to put it in bodybuilding supplements. You can still get Ephedra. You just gotta go to the pharmacist. You don't need a prescription. Just go to the pharmacy. Go to the chick behind the counter, the pharmacist. You're gonna have to give her your ID. Make sure you're not Breaking Bad. All right. And you say, yo, give me this stuff called Bronc-Aid. Bronc-Aid. All right. And and Bronc-Aid is basically an asthma medication, but the main ingredient in it is Ephedra. Boom. So now you get that. You take 2 of those. You're going to take 2 to 3 Bronc-Aid pills per day. Take it with the caffeine. You will be fucking wired. You'll feel amazing, and you won't be hungry. You won't be hungry at all. This shit works. The next supplement that's optional is Ketone. Is any sort of ketone supplement, right? You can get some sort of exogenous ketones, right? There's a few of them. My favorite one is this one called Ketone Aid, all right? And it tastes like fucking piss, bro. I never tasted piss, but I imagine this is what it tastes like. You know what I imagine it tastes like? You ever see a dumpster and there's like some juice coming out the side? Dumpster juice. That's what I imagine it tastes like, right? Or like fucking gasoline or some shit. It tastes awful, right? But you have so much energy if you take a ketone supplement. And this is very important that you take this, because remember, when you're in ketosis, your body is using ketones for fuel as opposed to using glucose for fuel. But it takes a little bit of time for your body to acclimate to that, right? That's why some people cut carbs, they say they get the ketone flu. A lot of that is just they don't have enough electrolytes. Most of the time it's that. But what helps is if you are taking exogenous ketones while your body is adapting to no carbs, it's like, and you're taking the magnesium, then you don't have to worry about the ketone flu, right? You'll have more energy. You'll feel way better. I mean, it's gross, but you just take a shot of it, and you'll feel way better. You'll have more energy. And it's also another hunger suppressant, right? It's another appetite suppressant. So you won't be as hungry and you'll have more energy. All right. It doesn't necessarily help you burn any more fat. Not directly, like it doesn't melt the fat off your body, but it makes you less hungry. So you'll be able to stick to your diet easier, and it'll give you more energy so you can stick to the crazy amount of walking you'll have to do on this protocol. All right. So Ketone Aid is my favorite. If you want to get a different sort of ketone supplement, that's fine. I recommend Ketone Aid. So we have Bronch Aid and Ketone Aid, and you get the caffeine from any source you want. You can take caffeine pills. You can take pre-workout. I have a pre-workout I like. I like this one called Total War because it got some shit in it that makes my fucking eyeballs tingle, and I like that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's how I can feel it working. When the back of my eyeballs start to twitch, I'm like, that's the stuff. That's what I needed, right? If you don't want your eyeballs to tingle, then you can get this this other pre-workout that I like. It's called Woke AF. I like it. They got some good flavors. When I had my supplement company, we had the same manufacturers, so like I can vouch for them, and I know those guys. They cool over there at Bucked Up is the name of the company. They don't pay me to say this, but those are the homies. All right, or any pre-workout, as long as it's got enough fucking caffeine. Celsius only has 200 milligrams of caffeine. Light work. You need. I personally, I need 300 milligrams. You feel me? But if you do that, so you want to take all of those together 2 to 3 times a day. If you're like me, you're taking it 3 times. All right, but 2 times that might be enough for you, right? All right, and then after you're done with this protocol, right? Then you just take. Then you're gonna go in. If you are at the weight you want to be, then you're gonna go into. Then you can just do maintenance for the summer. Right, you just do maintenance, then you maintain that because you sustain maintenance, your new body weight. Right, so you want to keep your. So if you to have for your maintenance calories, just multiply your calories. Multiply your body weight times 15. Get 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, and that's maintenance for you. You can maintain that all summer. You know what I'm saying? Or you can do this protocol. If you feel like you need to do this protocol again in the summer, you can do it, but just don't do it like back to back. Like give it like 2 weeks off at least before you get back on something like this. Because this is extreme. It's not meant to be sustained. It's a crash diet. You know what I'm saying? It's a crash diet. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? If you tough, it's not okay if you a bitch. Hey, when I had Corey do this, because he was one of the people I taught to be an online trainer. I'm sorry. And when I had Corey do this, he was one of my students and that I teach to grow their online fitness businesses. And he wasn't making as much money as he wanted. I was like, hey, man, you kind of flabby right now, man. You're looking kind of soft. You got a little Pillsbury Doughboy swag, right? If you can chop off some of that fat, you'll probably get more clients. And he did that. And he had his first 10K month. Right now he's doing 40, 50K a month, right? If you want to learn how to grow your online fitness business too, I got a free ebook that'll show you how to grow your online fitness business, even if you don't have a lot of followers, even if you don't have a lot of experience, even if you're not certified, right? It's free. Links in the description. It's called the 10 Commandments of Online Training. It's not no get rich quick shit, right? But if you are someone who loves fitness, you know something about training, you know something about working out, and you would like to make a living helping other people get in great shape as well, then check that ebook out. I think I know that it'll put you on the right path to making money as an online trainer. All right. Cool. All right. Do we got any super chats real quick? We got 2. All right, let's do the market update first. Also, if you want to ask Greg any questions Greg has a question. All right, let's get in the market update. Young Candlestick, what up, man? What's popping with these markets?
Oh man, the markets are going everywhere. Up, down, left, right.
Yeah.
Gapping down, closing up, gapping up, closing down. There's a lot of whipsaws going on.
Ain't it though?
I know, right? So the reason I say it's kind of weird is because the market's had 9 green days in a row on this up wave. And that's pretty unusual. It's actually been like 20 years since that's happened. So that's really, really interesting. And normally when you close near the high, you get a gap up. Normally when you close near the low, that means that buyers are trapped and you get a gap down. But it's kind of just been inconsistent. It's very news driven, if that makes sense. So a lot of goofy candles. The market's just awaiting FOMC tomorrow, Federal Open Market Committee. That's where Jerome Powell's like, hey, we're going to raise interest rates. We're going to cut them, or we're not going to do shit. Most of the time they don't do anything and the market still goes crazy. So I'll be live trading tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern for Victory Trades members, FOMC, in addition to the morning live trading. Okay. Last Thursday, we didn't have the podcast, but we still crushed it, futures trading. And I actually passed my Series 65 exam. That was a really tough exam.
Come on, man.
It's the hardest step in becoming an investment advisor and launching up a hedge fund. So we have some exciting things coming. But I'm not going to talk too much about that right now.
You know what I'm saying? The Victory Fund. You know
I know, right? There's a lot of opportunities to be had in the future. So S&P 500, no big direction right now. I would short the market if it got up to SPY 580. Okay, that's kind of like a supply zone. And if the market got super oversold, this kind of like 527 to 513 zone, I think can be a really good long-term dip buy. That's not personalized financial advice.
Nah, not even close.
That's just what I'm doing. Okay. So keep an eye out on those zones for SPY. FOMC is going to go crazy tomorrow. IWM, this is the Russell 2000. It's still lagging. So we're kind of getting a lot of push-pull in the overall market. I am still short the Russell 2000 by the bear call credit spreads through RUT. Basically, I'm risking $500 to make $500 if the RUT closes underneath 2,000 on the index. Okay, so that's a trade idea. It's pretty much flat right now. It's had a few profit opportunities, but I'm just holding it. Okay, so I'm short the Russell 2000. Got it? Gold, though. Last time we talked, Brandon.
Gold, come on now. I made a lot of money off gold, man. I was telling y'all to buy, man. I was buying gold futures. Come on, man.
Hell yeah. And you were asking me, you're like, I've got this contract. What should I do? I was just like, this isn't advice, but I just hold it. And if you held or just bought when Brandon was talking about it, you had $2,000 in your account, you'd make at least $500 to $800 on this upwave. So gold, I still like it. It might go lower or sideways for a few days or weeks, but longer term, it likely continues its uptrend. So buy the dip environment for gold. GDX, this is the gold miners. If you want to cash flow gold, there's a big misconception that you can't cash flow gold, but you can do it by selling options. You know, sell some cash secured puts on GDX. You know, you only get like $20 to $50 a week, but if you get assigned, you can just sell covered calls, get that cash flow. Okay. You can also wheel silver. I'm really bullish on silver because it still hasn't broken out yet. And it's kind of got this like flag formation where we have a rally, we're consolidating. Are we going to break out? It may not break out short term, but longer term, I think it does. If you look at the monthly time frame, this is bullish. I think silver, end of the year, my price target's $40 per share on SLV. So potential 30% upside on shares and more if you have leap call options. Okay. So that's a trade idea. Silver, bullish. I'm also natural gas, UNG. If you want to, you could wheel this. I would let it get a little bit more oversold first, but UNG, I think it gravitates towards $20 per share. And I bring up these other markets because they're uncorrelated with the S&P. So you can make money in each of these other markets. It's great when you're right on the SPY and you just like trade individual stocks, NVIDIA, Tesla, Google, Apple. But if you're wrong on the SPY, it can hurt really badly. That's why we trade and invest in diversified asset classes. Now, in business, you want to concentrate on your business, focus on one thing. With stocks, you want to have a solid set of diverse asset classes. Okay.
All right.
Oil, we talked about breaking down. Oil, big move down. I would be bearish oil. And oil, with it being down this low, it's kind of like an inflation indicator. So if oil is breaking down, the Fed might actually be able to cut interest rates, and that would spur demand in the economy and may save us from a recession. It's tough to say. I don't want to get super bullish or make any wild claims yet.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a hunker down season as of right now. But the thing
is, if they lower interest rates, then that increases inflation.
Yep, exactly.
Right.
It's basically like, do you want to get paid more? Do you want businesses to make more money, but things cost more? Or do you want things to cost less for a period of time, but you got to get really creative with business?
Yeah.
You know? That's kind of the trade-off. And that's not our decision to make. That's Jerome's decision.
Jerome, man, he gonna make that decision tomorrow, right? You gonna
tomorrow?
Tell us what's up?
Probably not. He's probably not going to do anything. Probably just chill.
What time is that report drop?
That's at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then Jerome talks at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Usually, what happens with the SPY, the first move is usually the fake out move. And by the way, the futures are gapping up, so most stocks are going to open up green. But right at like 2 p.m. Eastern, you'll probably either see a big pump, a big dump, and then oftentimes by the time Jerome Powell starts speaking, it usually reverses. So there's a ton of opportunities for like 0-day calls. Like you can turn like $30 into $300 in like 15 minutes if you can catch some of those reversals. Sometimes they do just trend though. And the market, it would be super bearish if SPY broke 557. It could drop 1% pretty quickly in like 15 minutes. Okay. Bitcoin's really strong. Bitcoin is still in this kind of supply zone, but now this is starting to high base. Is this going to break out up? I don't know. I'm still of the thought that Bitcoin can potentially be like range bound for a few months and then break out up. Yeah. That's just kind of the forecast. I could be wrong on that. I'm not married to that. And then a few individual stocks. If you're looking for shorts, keep your eyes on Apple. I've been talking about Apple shorts up here at the 210 level. Apple's underneath 200. If Apple gets overbought, maybe it bounces up to like 208. Maybe it bounces up to like 205. Apple's a short. Okay. At least for 2025. Maybe not 2026 or 2027. Microsoft. We've been telling you guys.
Yeah,
we
Microsoft.
Like Microsoft.
I was just about to ask you about Microsoft. That was on my list.
It was ugly down here. It's scary to buy stocks when it's just in a downtrend, but eventually it gets so oversold. It's worth it to just, buy some shares, even if it's only like 10 shares, 20 shares, 2 shares, whatever you can. And now Microsoft, big bullish move. I would like a dip buy on Microsoft if it could get to like 405.
It was earnings. They beat earnings by a lot, right?
They crushed it on earnings. That's this big ass gap up right here. Yeah. Up 10%, which is a huge move for Microsoft.
That's a huge move.
Yeah. If you have like a call option, like $100 turned into like $600 overnight. So Microsoft, I like buy the dip. If you're looking for day trades, look for Tesla. Tesla's just a good day trading stock. It's kind of wild on the swings, but on the intraday time frame, usually they got some good spikes. They got some good pullbacks. Palantir is another one that's really, really good for day trading. Palantir almost made new all-time highs and then dumped. Palantir has a little bit of short-term support near 100. I would only take that for a day trade because the fair value of Palantir is $100 a share. And if the stock's at 110, it's overvalued. Just give yourself a deal when you're investing. Try to find these fair values. Obviously, it's not the end all be all, but if you can get a deep discount to fair value, over the long run, stocks tend to gravitate towards their fundamental value. Okay. So you pick your stocks fundamentally and then you trade them technically. Okay. It's a great way to live life. 2 more things. Uber. Uber's approaching daily highs. It's kind of knocking on the door. It's a bit extended, but
all-time highs?
All-time highs.
Yeah.
We love our all-time high breakout.
Come on, man. That's looking good.
Yeah, it's a bit extended, but maybe you could day trade it, maybe not swing trade it. Day trade some calls on Uber. And then obviously energy transfer, I still like for the wheel. And now it's coming into the attractive zone. So if this is down tomorrow, I might sell some cash secured puts on ET.
I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
FOMC live trading tomorrow. That's all
Hims. Tell me about him. Guys, real quick. If you guys want to know more about this or you want to trade with Greg and I, right, then join our Discord and then go in there and say, yo, hit up Greg and say, yo, you want to join Victory Trades. And Victory Trade members, they get Greg's trade alerts straight to their phone. And you can trade with us in the morning. We trade every morning live session we come off at like 9:15.
Yeah, we usually go for an hour and a half. Sometimes we'll go for 2 hours.
Yeah. You know, like today, man, I made a bunch of money. I made about $5,000. I was like, all right, minutes, like I gotta get out of here. I had something to do, but Greg stayed, right? And but
I made my money after you left.
What's up?
I made my money after you left.
Come on, man. Because I trade futures and Greg trades a little bit of everything, but I only trade futures in that live session. You want to trade with us, man? We'll show you how to do it.
Check it out. It's a lot of fun. And if you're brand new to trading, I do have courses that help you get started right away.
Yeah, in the Victory Trade, if Victory Trade members, you get all of Greg's courses.
Yep. And sometimes I'll even like film lessons while I'm live. That way you can ask questions about the content that I'm filming live. It's perfect.
All right, cool. Tell me about Hims, man. They killed earnings, right? They killed earnings.
They crushed it. So 2 weeks ago in the weekly video that I put out in the free Victory Unit Discord, I said Hims is on watch for longs. And since then, Hims, because this was this little like wedge deal, I didn't know which way it was going to break, but it was most likely up. Hims, since that point, is up 69%. This is a great day trading stock. They crushed it on earnings. It's a bit extended right now at this candle, but if Hims could maybe pull back to something like 41, I think you can wheel this stock. The premiums are really, really high. So, you know, you can get like even right here, look, you could get paid, you know, almost 1% to agree to buy it at support. Like
I'm waiting for pullbacks on Hims and Microsoft. I'm gonna buy. I get pullbacks on Hims and Microsoft. I'm gonna buy.
I concur. I mean, you could buy it up here if you can tolerate a pullback of like 20%. That's kind of like the way you want to think about if you're going to chase an overbought stock. Can I handle a pullback? If you can, you deserve to buy it high. If you can't, you got to be picky.
Yeah, Hims and Microsoft. I'm waiting for pullbacks, and then I'm gonna go. If Microsoft goes to the 200-day moving average, I'll buy it.
Definitely. And the longer your time horizon is, the less picky you need to be with your buys. The shorter your time horizon, the more precise you need to be. Okay, right, so cool, always just think about that.
I think you got a super chat, Greg.
Let's check it out.
I want you to answer that while I go urinate.
You go urinate.
I still hear you though. I'm still hear you. Yeah. So I know I'm still tapped in.
I love it.
With my dick out.
All right, so Max Supreme, good to see you, Max. Max says, Brandon, if my goal is $10,000 a month doing swing trading, so that's holding a stock overnight or multiple nights or multiple weeks, buying and selling options. So buying options, high risk, high reward, doesn't take a lot of money, but you can get big payouts. Selling options, it takes a bit more money in your trading account, but it's much more high probability in nature, and the income's a little bit more consistent. Okay, so that's something to consider. The wheel strategy, that's really, really good. Straight cash flow, as long as you like the underlying stock. How much money would you need in your brokerage account to achieve that? So I'm going to tackle this from a few different angles. So if you want to be strictly like passive, no work whatsoever and no risk, you can just buy bonds. You know, you can buy SGov and you'll get about 5% a year, give or take. How much do you need to make 10K a month? You'd need $2 million if you want it to be completely passive, no work whatsoever. But you'd get about 100 grand a year, guaranteed. Okay, so that's one avenue. Obviously, $2 million, you do need a bit of a larger account. I don't have a $2 million account yet. And so what we want to do is we need to actually get better at trading and investing to increase our returns. So you can actually start to think about what pieces do you need? How much, what's the future value that you need in your account? I think if you're going to try and make $10,000 a month, but you don't have a lot of money, I think you have to do it with futures trading. Wouldn't you agree, Brandon? Like, it's
he
the
must make
only
$10,000.
way.
You must make $10,000 a month.
Yeah. Like,
How much money does he have?
That's the thing he's asking. I said, if he wants to do it passively, no risk, you need $2 million in your account. You'll get $100,000 a year, guaranteed.
Yeah. Simple, right? But, when I sell options, I try to get 1% a week, which is 4% a year.
4%.
4% a month. I'm sorry. Sometimes 5, right? Some months have 5, right? But that's still to get $10,000. That'd be a lot. It'd be a lot.
I think it would come down to, you need to have a really good active approach. I personally like SPX day trading and SPX credit spreads. That's just basically like futures trading though, as well.
Yeah, futures trading is the way, man. Yeah, I made $5,000 trading futures this morning.
You crushed it this morning.
Come on, man.
It was so good to see.
You know how we roll. You know how we do. You know what I'm saying?
You post it every single day too. Like the green days and the red days every single day. So futures trading is good for active income. SPX credit spreads and day trades. Obviously, select a few good stocks for the wheel. Maybe you could make $10,000 a month if you've got like $500,000. The less money you have, the better you need to be. That makes sense.
Like $10,000 a month with a little bit of money, you're gonna need to
like
work with a prop firm with multiple accounts, and that's what we do. You know what I'm saying? Prop firm, multiple accounts, trading at once.
Like if you've got like $3,000 cash and you're an amazing futures trader, you can easily make $10,000 a month. You can make $20,000 a month, but that's a high income skill. You might need to put up like $500.
It means it's not easy. You got to learn. Like, I've been trading futures for 5 years?
Yeah, 4 or 5 years at least.
Wow. And I feel like this is the year I feel like, okay, now I got it.
Yeah, this is the year. This is our breakout year.
I'm like, I got it now. You know what I'm saying? I was profitable my first year, but like I made like $20,000 the whole year trading with my own money. But now we got prop firms, and then I'm better now. Like I got it. I got this shit now.
You're super consistent, but it just takes so many hours. So you either need to put in a ton of time or you need a ton of capital. You can't shortcut it though.
Yeah.
I mean, you can also like follow alerts. You can follow me in the Trade Ideas channel. You can ask me about certain trades before you take them, and I can kind of help you confirm or just say, nah, it's not a good trade.
For swing trading, not for day trading futures, but like if you join victory trades, like I tell you when I'm going long or short, like I'm like, I'm about to do it. You know what I'm saying? Or I got a buy order or a sell order at this price point, Yeah.
I made like $100 in 2 minutes off a trade you called out this morning.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's peaceful.
Yeah, man.
So I hope that answers your question. You either need a lot of capital or a lot of skill or a mixture of both. Okay.
You want to learn more about this, guys? Yo, hit the Discord. Go to our Discord. Hit up Greg, Young Candlestick. Say, yo, I want to join victory trades, man. I want to see and he'll point you in the right direction.
I got you.
All right. Yo, thank you, Greg. Appreciate it, man.
Take care, Brandon. Right. Let's get ripped this summer.
Let's go. You know the vibe. Are there more super chats?
We do. We have Max again. Who says, hey, Brandon, last episode you were talking about some type of life insurance you started for your son about a year ago. What was it called?
I forget what it's called, but it's the kind of life insurance where like you can take loans against it once it matures. I forget the name of it. I'm gonna have the guy on the podcast once to talk to y'all about it because I used to just put money in this. It's like it's based off index funds, right? So it gets interest. Like the more it's overfunded, right? More. So he's insured for like $3 million, right? It's not whole life. It's something different. It's I forget the exact name, bro. I'm not an expert on it. I learned enough to make the decision, but not enough to teach the shit, right? But basically, and it's through a like legit company, all the shit, you know. And but I'm gonna have somebody at some point on the podcast to talk to y'all about that, because how it works is you overfund it, and then it goes into like an index fund, right? So it starts to mature and the money stays in there, but you can actually take loans against it once it starts to mature, right? So when my son, it's time to go to college, it'll be like mad money in there, you know what I'm saying? And I could either say, you know, fuck man, you know, all right, here's the college money, or he wants to start a business, all right, we got some money, you know what I'm saying, right here, boom. Or you know, if I ever die, if he'll get like close to like 3 mil immediately, you know what I'm saying? Which is cool, like tomorrow, right? But you know, Yahweh gonna keep me safe, and and I don't plan on dying no time soon. But it's gonna be like way more than that as it matures. Like right today it would be 3 mil, but it would be like fucking mad millions, you know, when I'm like 60 or some shit, you know. I'll have more information about that. I forget the name of it, bro. To be honest with you. One more. What's up?
We have Bullish Ivan, Mr. Carter. I'm just getting started with content and learning video editing. Do you think it's smart to boost a few reels early on to get some exposure and build followers?
No. What's the first link? Oh yeah, no. You do not never hit that fucking boost button. That button was designed by Mark Zuckerberg to fucking steal money from motherfuckers who don't know how to run ads. Just a site. I've never ever seen somebody hit that button and make some money. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I've seen it, because to really run ads, you got to get in the Meta Ads Manager. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how you really do it. You know, and there's a learning curve for that shit, right? But that's how you never hit that boost button. Never. It's a scam. It's like there's only a few real scams in the world. That's one of them. But I do have I have a program called Influencer Domination that will show you how to grow your online, and show you how to grow your following. And people have been through that. They just started making content, and some people have went viral already. It's a link in the description if you want to join. And what's cool about, not only do you get the trainings on how to grow your following, how to make the content, what kind of content to make. And this is not just for fitness influencers, for anyone, right? Not only do you get all the trainings on how to do it, but every week, once a week, I go in and I review the content from all the members. So I go in and review their content, tell them how you can make it better, you know, and people find that really helpful. That's probably the most helpful part, like actually getting your content reviewed and audited by me. All right, the link is in the description if you want to join. All right, Influencer Domination Accelerate. All right. All right, so hold on. So for the last, feels like a month, I have been working on working on something that was calling it the 21 dark psychology sales techniques to sell anyone. And we've gotten through it. I'm all the way down. We ended it on. Yeah, we ended it. All right, so now let's get into it, man. Let's talk about it. So if you've been watching the last few episodes of Victory Talk, I've been going through the 21 dark psychology secrets for sales and marketing. And it were based off a few of my favorite sales and marketing books. One was the 1 Sentence Persuasion course. Another one was Influenced by Robert Cialdini. All right. And these next techniques are going to come from a book that I like so much. I used to never tell anybody about it. It was a secret book because I didn't want my ops or competition to get their hands on it because I felt like it was so good and not a lot of people knew about it. But I'm going to share it with y'all because I'm actually rich now. And in order to compete with me and to compete with me will be a dubious proposition, to say the least. So now that I've hit the mountaintop, I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all the shit. I'll give y'all the map so y'all can come up with me. All right. So this book is called the Secret Power of Negotiating. No, it's called The Secrets of Power Negotiating by Roger Dawson. Fantastic book. All right. And this one is about negotiating, right? Well, the first book was more, the One Sentence Persuasion book was more an overview of concepts, and Influence was more concepts as well. This is more on a ground level. All right. So one of my main takeaways, one of my first takeaways from this book, when this is going to be secret number 12, is always make the other person feel like they won. Always make the other person feel like they won. All right. So when you're negotiating with someone, you almost want them to feel, you never want them to feel like you beat them or you hurt their ego, right? Because a lot of times you'll have to work with this person you're negotiating with, right? Or if they're a client or whatever, you want to feel like they won, even if it was their idea. Yeah, I mean, even a good example of it, you always want to make them feel like they won, right? Even if you feel like they didn't. Even if it was your plan all along, you got exactly what you wanted, they should feel like they won. A good example in the book was Roger was about to speak at some event, and there were some people in front of him, and they were talking about Roger, but they didn't know he was behind him. And they said, and one of the guys said, "Man, you heard this next speaker? I heard he could sell you the gold out of your teeth." No. This next speaker, man, I heard it. I heard if you talk to him long enough, he'll take the gold out your teeth. And Roger interrupted and said, "If you take the gold out your teeth, that's stealing. If you give me the gold from your teeth and then thank me for it, that's negotiating." Right? You want people make it feel like it's their idea. How do you do that in a business context? Well, I mean, you want to make them feel like they won, right? So how do you do that in business context? Well, a lot of people do this in pretty nefarious ways. So the supplement company, GNC, supplement store, what they used to have this thing called Super Tuesdays. They actually got sued by the federal government for this, and they had to stop doing this. Where if you were a gold card member at GNC, right, you got 20% off everything on Tuesday. But what really happened was they would mark shit up 20% and then say you got a deal. And can sell it to you at regular, they'll mark shit up and then decrease it to the regular price they already was. And then you went in there, you felt like you got a deal, and they made a lot of money on Super Tuesday. I remember before I knew they were doing this, I would wait till Tuesday to go buy supplements from GNC. I felt like I was getting a deal. I felt like I won, even though they was pulling the wool over my eyes, right? Now, that's a nefarious way to do it. You can do that in more... You can do that in ways that aren't evil as well. For example, I'm trying to think of an example. Way to do it is not evil. You know, anytime I'm doing sales or teaching people how to do sales, I really feel like the key to sales is not to try to convince someone to buy something or not try to talk them into it. It's really you want to ask them questions until they convince themselves, right? So you're a really good salesperson. You're a really good salesperson or negotiator if they ask you, "Man, how do I get started?" Or "How do I buy it?" All right. And the way you do that is whatever you're selling, all products or services solve a problem. And you ask that person, "Hey, what problems are you dealing with?" Like, for example, let's say you were selling online coaching, right? You were going to help somebody lose weight. You can say something, you ask them a question, "Man, all right, so how much weight do you want to lose?" And they'll say, let's say 15 pounds, right? And you say, "Okay, well, why'd you pick that number? What about 15 is important to you? What makes that goal important? Or you could say something like, what makes that goal important to you? How's that going to improve your life? Right? Oh man, I'll have more confidence. I'll fit in my clothes better. Blah blah blah. Blah. My wife, my kids will stop making fun of me. You know, my kids won't be embarrassed for me to come to school anymore because they get bullied because I'm so fat. Whatever, right? And then you say, okay, well, what's been the main thing that's been preventing you from accomplishing that goal? Right? And they'll say, oh man, it's just my diet. I don't really know what to eat, and you know, sometimes I just eat whatever. I never had a plan. All right, cool. So it sounds like you're saying you need a plan. You need like a real game plan structure. And they'll be like, yeah, all right, cool. And then this is a simplified version of you. Be like, well, here's what I do for my clients. And, you know, here's what I do for my clients who have similar problems as you, right? So when my client wants to lose weight, first of all, I talk to them about exactly what foods they like. What are some of their favorite foods? And I make a plan kind of based around some of those foods so they don't feel like it's so restrictive, right? And I make sure that their diet is structured in a way that it takes all the guesswork out from them. So they know exactly what they want, but they also don't feel like it's too restrictive. And as a result, my clients actually lose more. They actually lose the weight in record time, right? And and when they lose that weight, then you know they have a different relationship with their children, with their family. You know, their wife seems to be more. Sometimes their wives are more interested in them. They have more energy to play with their kids. You know, the kids aren't embarrassed because they got the fat mom, they got the fat dad now, right? And their whole life kind of changes. Does that sound like something you're interested in? Like, yeah, that's exactly what I need, right? Now it's like, oh, that's exactly what I need, you know? And you basically, I don't know if I'm articulating this right, but, and then they'll say exactly what they'll say something like, yeah, that's exactly what I need. Okay. And then you say, hey, what do you think what about that would be most helpful for you? Oh man, if I can just get a plan if I get a plan and it takes all the guesswork out, that'd be perfect for me. That's what I need, right? But of course it is, because that's what you said you needed. You know what I'm saying? That's what you said you needed, right? And then typically, if you do a good enough job of that, if you do a good enough job of that, then they'll typically ask, man, so how do I get started, right? My sales scripts are more elaborate than that, but that was a simplified version of it, right? They typically ask, man, how do I get started, man? Or how much does it cost, right? Now, who's selling who? You get what I'm saying? He didn't told you what he needed. He told you how much it would help them. It would help him if he had your help, or how much he would benefit for it. Who's selling who? You know what I'm saying? You want to really make them feel like they want, you know? I don't know if that was the best example, but that was an example, right? And that was just a small snippet of the type of scripts I give my students who want to grow their online fitness business. If you want to learn to grow your online fitness business too, I have a free ebook called The 10 Commandments of Online Training. It'll show you exactly how to do that. It's in the description. It's free, right? And it'll give you more detail on how to grow your online fitness business, right? But let's go on to the next tip I got from Roger Dawson's book. This is a negotiation tactic called higher authority. This is where you claim you claim to need approval for someone to make the decision. Like you can't make the decision unless someone else does it, right? When you're negotiating. For example, a lot of people do this sometimes when they say, oh, I need to talk to my wife, or I need to talk to my husband, right? Sometimes it's real, right? Especially if it's the wife, man, you know. Women can't make decisions without. No, sometimes they knew they need to talk to their wife. But sometimes it's just a way to weasel out of the deal, you know, or to weasel out of it, right? But how you can use this in your life is you can ask. For example, I'm cautious what I'm saying. I don't want to give it all away. For example, if somebody wants to, like, maybe say they want to come on my podcast or they want to come on my YouTube, and you know what I'm saying, and I'm trying to negotiate with them or trying to figure it out. I'm like, listen, I don't know, man. I gotta ask Nima. Nima runs the show, man. He produces the whole thing, man. I just yell at the cameras and people like it. But Nima's in charge, man. He does the whole thing. Right? I might say something like that. I've said something like that. Hey, man, listen, I don't know if we got space, man. I gotta check with Nima. So higher authority. If you can do that, then you can always pass the buck to someone else. You know what I'm saying? Because if you have all the power, then you have all the power, right? You know, but if let's say you're working with you're negotiating with someone and they're trying to get you to lower the price. And if it's your business, if it's just you, they know you can lower the price, right? But if you say, oh, listen, man, I got to check with my business partners, man. I don't even know if we could do that, bro. You know what I'm saying? A higher authority. I mean, it's a good negotiating tactic to have in your pocket, right? The next one. The next one is similar. He called it limited authority, which is similar to the above, but now you're claiming that you have limited decision-making power and you encourage the other side to make their best offer. For example, I'm trying to think of an example that would be applicable. All right. If let's say my girl, right? She's got a motherfucking, no, that's the best example. Yeah, okay. So it's similar to higher authority. The difference is, instead of saying you just can't do it or you don't know if you can do it or you got to ask somebody else, you say, listen, man, I don't know if I can do that, but I know. Okay, I got an example now, right? Let's say I'm working with me and Nima, right? Somebody want to sponsor the podcast and they're trying to negotiate with me, right? And I don't like their offer. They give me like a lowball offer. And I'm like, listen, I'm not even in charge of the podcast, bro. Nima's in charge. So I don't know if he would go for that price. I'm just be honest with you. I don't know if we go that price. It's going to take me some time to get back to you, man. But I know he'll do it at this price. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll know he'll do it at this price, right? I can guarantee that. But anything above that, man, I just don't know. You know what I'm saying? Right. So you have some power, but it's limited. And a lot of times you say something like that, it'll be like, all right, let's just do it for that price. Right. This is one strategy you can use. The next one, number 15, one of my favorite strategies, is called the red herring. Right. This is when you're negotiating with somebody and you introduce a minor issue that you don't really give a fuck about. Right. But you make a big deal about this thing that you don't care about. And then you concede that in negotiation in order to get something more important later. For example, I don't want to tell you all my son's name, but I got the name I wanted for him. Right. But initially, when I first proposed the name to his mom, she liked another name better. And we were kind of going back and forth. We couldn't really find it. She said she kind of likes it, but she likes another name better. So I said, you know what name I really like though? Thor. That's the what his name. We should name this kid Thor. Right. And I fucking made a big deal about it, about Thor. Man, no, his name should be Thor. You know how cool that would be? Thor Carter. And I made a big deal about Thor. Started arguments about Thor. Fucking stormed out the house once about the name Thor. And then I came back. All right, listen, now that I've calmed down. Listen. Thor might have been too much. I get it. You don't like Thor, but we both kind of like this other name. Let's just go with that. That's my son's name. But it seemed like I conceded. Now I look like the reasonable one because I made up a bullshit Now I would make no mistake. I would have took Thor. I'd have been very happy with Thor, but that's not what I really wanted. It was a red herring. You know what I'm saying? You make a big deal about something fake, and then you concede that now it looks like you made a concession for them. All right, listen, fine, no Thor. You win. You win. We won't name him Thor. Let's just do this. Yeah. That shit works. All right. The next one Robert had is called Tradeoffs. All right. This is more like a if or then strategy, meaning he recommends you always ask for something in return for every concession you make. Right. And you frame it as, if you do this, then what are you going to do for me? Pause. Right. The quid pro quo. Like, so for example, anytime someone wants to bring something into the negotiation, a new term or a new deal, then you say, you don't just let them add that shit. You say, okay, we can do that. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do for us? Or you recommend, if you do this, if you want to add that, then we're gonna need this, right? You never let them just add some shit. And a lot of times they'll either add the shit you wanted, or they'll say, all right, fuck it, I don't want this shit no more. Right? It ain't worth this. Right. But when you're negotiating people, don't let them just add shit just cause. I want to give a quick disclaimer about all these negotiation tactics. There is a point of diminishing returns when negotiating. Because I feel like there was a point where I got so good at negotiating that I could basically get almost anything I wanted out of negotiating. But then I had to work with these people, and they had so little, and they benefited so little from the deal that I didn't get their best work out of it. I was like, fuck. Right. So instead of using all these tactics, now when I negotiate with people, I try to overpay people or give them maybe even more than I feel like they deserve, because I want them to be more invested. And and especially if it's somebody who's a contractor, I want to be their best client. Right. And we're gonna call that tip. That's not from Roger. That's mine. That's tip number 17. Right, is actually pay people more sometimes, or give people more than they deserve, so you can be their best client. For example, one of my chief operating officer, she does all the operations of my business, but she actually has her own business, right? And she does operations for other businesses. And I saw how good she was, and I was like, fuck, I want to be her best client. So I negotiated with her to actually pay her more money, so I would be the client who's paying her the most, so she would focus more on me and my team and my business. And as a result, I got better service, and we made a better team and better retention too. Right now, she's incentivized to stay with us because, I went above and beyond for her. So that's the opposite of a lot of these negotiating tactics. Sometimes you want to pay people more so you can get the best out of them. All right. That's number 17. Number 18 number 17 was from me. Right. Now we're going to get back to Dawson. Number 18 was called the foot and door policy. It's called the foot and door technique. Basically, it's once you make a little bit of a headway, or you get a little bit of a concession from someone, it's easier to get a lot more. Any guy who's ever asked a girl for just a tip knows exactly what I mean. Some people are calling this the just the tip strategy. Because once you get the tip in, I'm gonna stop right there. You know what happens next. Consensually, as long as it's consensual. All right. But yeah, just the tip strategy. So sometimes when you negotiate with somebody, you might want to solidify small terms first, and then it'll be easier to solidify bigger terms. Does that make sense? I don't feel like I have to give any examples for this. I feel like just a tip was enough. I feel like that was enough. You guys all felt me, right? You know what I'm saying? So when you negotiate with somebody, get them to agree on something little at first, and then it'll be easier to get the rest of the pie, right? Okay, number 19. He called this sweeteners. Roger called this sweeteners. Basically, you're offering small, seemingly insignificant extras at the end to make the deal more appealing and ensure the other person feels like they won, right? So sometimes what he recommends is after you've basically settled on something, you throw in, hey, I'll do this for you, or I'll do that for you. And that way it goes back to tip number one, is that it goes back to the other tip, make them feel like they won. You know what? So it makes them feel like they won. So then you could throw in some shit like, if you're making a deal with somebody, man, I'll even throw in this X, Y, and Z. And then they'll be like, fuck, that was a nice little bonus, right? Because you really want to make them feel like they won the negotiation, right? Sometimes you could throw in a little sweetener to make that happen, right? Number 20 from Roger is called it withdrawal, right? In extreme cases, you need to be prepared to withdraw your offer. And that can be a powerful tactic to force the other party to reconsider their position, right? Right. But you have to mean it, though, right? You have to mean it. If you're not willing, if you don't want to be fake about it, right? You don't want to be throwing out bullshit or just threatening people. You have to really listen. If it's not going to work, then we're going to get out of here. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of times if they want it more if they want it more, they'll be willing to reconsider their position, right? Be willing to walk away at any time. All right. That was withdrawal. So you withdraw your shit. Hey, if you guys can't do this, we'll withdraw. And number 21. Oh, that was supposed to be the last one. I skipped one. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, one was from me. And then I skipped one. Which one did I skip? Yeah. All right. Okay. I wanted that one to be last. Yeah. All right. 21. That last one was 21. All right. So we're going back. I'm going to do the next one is what Roger called good cop, bad cop, which is similar to limited authority or higher authority. It's basically you have somebody you want to use as probably you want to use someone on your team or someone you work with as the bad cop, right? And it's similar to limited authority, but you want to use it different. So you want to make sure that act like this person is an asshole. And sometimes it can be true, right? So for example, when I'm talking to my sales team, I'll be like, hey guys, we got to do this, right? Now, if you guys can't figure it out, then I'm gonna have to call Amber and she's gonna have to fix it for you. Amber's the person on my team who fires people. Right? I don't do any firing. Amber does all the HR, right? So I use Amber as leverage. It's not fake. Amber will fire you. But I try to be, when I'm talking to the sales team, I'm like, hey guys, man, we got to get this out. I'm more of the coach, motivational coach. But I use Amber as the bad cop. I'm like, listen, guys, I know you guys don't want to do your reports every day. I get it. I didn't like doing reports when I was I didn't like doing daily reports when I was a salesperson either. Here's a problem though, man. Like I don't do the HR in the business no more, man. Amber does it. And if you guys don't do this shit, you know what happened to Steve. Now I don't want to have to get Amber involved, but listen, I'm gonna have to. Right. So I'm not using her as a bad cop. You know, some of y'all who had dads growing up, you probably did some shit like your mom's probably did some shit like, hey, I'm gonna tell your father, you know. She was doing the same shit. It was probably real. Your dad probably did beat you. Right. It was probably a legit threat. You know what I'm saying? So good cop, bad cop. That's one that works well in negotiating. All right. Listen, guys. You don't need to negotiate if you don't got no business, right? Or you don't have if you're not doing any business with anyone, right? Here's the thing. If you want to learn how to grow your online fitness business, I've taught over 15,000 people how to grow successful online fitness businesses. If you want to learn how, you can do the same. I have a free ebook called The 10 Commandments of Online Training. Click the link in the description and you can get it for free. All right. Cool. We got a super chat.
Yes. I got to add myself, so it takes a little while. We got Chief Rose.
What up, Chief?
With 2 questions. 1, what topic in college is best to study to be a better salesman?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, you want me to answer that one right away?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. They don't really teach sales in college. At least they didn't when I was there. You know, I majored in marketing, and there's a lot of overlap with marketing and sales. I'm gonna be honest with you, but it's difficult to learn sales in college. They don't really teach it, to my knowledge. But marketing and sales has a lot of overlap, so I feel like marketing would be helpful.
And 2, how can I become a student and start to work for you, sir?
Almost everybody who works for me either is a student or was a student, right? You know, in HTT. So it depends on what you want to do, man. If you want to be an online trainer, then first of all, see if it's right for you. Click the ebook, download the ebook, find out more about online training. See if it's right for you. You might not like it. You know what I'm saying? You might not like it, right? If you don't want to be an online trainer, the other program I have is Influencer Domination. Show you how to grow your social media and grow your online, your personal brand. Start going viral. Motherfuckers in that shit have been going viral lately. It's dope to see. So that's in the description too, right? But we do all our hiring internally from like students. Real shit. You know? Except for Nima. But I ain't looking for video editors or fucking podcast producers yet. All right. All right, guys. This has been another episode of that Victory Talk podcast. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll see you on Thursday. Peace.